Yeah, and guys, they were inside the building when all of a sudden they heard the screams, fire, fire, and they started evacuating. They were up on the 26th floor of this current 43-story building. It's going to be 54 stories when it's done, according to the Department of Buildings Commissioner. These construction workers were installing sprinkler systems for the building at the time when they heard the calls of fire, and they knew what they needed to do, and that was evacuate immediately. I want to bring them in so that they can explain to you exactly what happened. Hey guys, come on back over again. We were talking about this. Come on in, I want to hear all of your accounts because it is a harrowing tale to hear what it's like to be at work, on the job, in a building full of people just like you, and to hear fire. And then what happened?
So we was working on 26 at the time.
26th floor.
Correct.
And the address here is 550 10th Avenue.
Correct. So the crane was already on fire. So once the guy came to our floor, he pulled us off the ladder, just saying there's a fire, the crane is on fire, let's evacuate now. Everybody started evacuating, but calmly, because at that time it's not chaotic. So from 25 running down, I say we made it to about the 12th floor. The crane is burning the whole time, and then all you hear is clink, clink, and then boom, and then the whole building shook. Total chaos.
Did you have any concept of what had happened, what the possibilities were?
All I thought was ground floor. I got to get out the building, ground floor, and the steps was gladiator. It was people pulling, pushing, falling. If you fell, you got stepped on, and you just had to fight your way back up and just keep going.
You're thinking, I've got to save my life.
All the way, all the way. Get to the ground floor. Out this building. That's all I saw was out the building. That was my exit.
And when we get down here onto the ground floor, you guys come out onto the street, you see this just chaos unfolding.
We had been down originally because we were taking in a delivery. So once our truck left, my foreman told me, someone told me that the crane's on fire. So we went and we checked it out, and not even 2 minutes later, we seen the fire department roll up. So they closed down the street and everything like that, and we ran down to the cellar. And when we ran down there, we got rid of all the air in the pipes. So the fire department,
the sprinkler pipes that you're installing.
That's where they connect their hose to. So we had to get all the air out so the water would go right there. And then as we're doing that, I just felt the loudest sound in my entire life, and the ceiling, the walls, the ground, everything started shaking. I didn't know there was the crane yet. I didn't know whether the crane hit into the building or whatever, but it felt like an earthquake.
And now I just want to bring you two over here so that I can let people see your faces, because it's just incredible, this tale that you're telling me. You had to have thought, the absolute worst case scenario, when this 16-ton piece of concrete let loose, along with the boom, which had already sliced into the residential building across the street.
It's so chaotic in our building, we didn't even know none of that happened. We didn't know what was happening outside the building, because in the steps is, like a small space. So it's just so chaotic. When we got out, then we got to stage 2, the outside chaos, but the inside chaos was so crazy.
Did you even know, where should I run to be safe?
Down the steps. That's all I thought. No elevator, I'm going down the steps. No hesitation.
And were there calls that were made? Did you pick up your cell phone and think, I got to talk to my family?
As soon as I got to the bottom, I called my wife immediately.
And you said?
I'm out the building. Because I know this was on the news, this was everywhere, so your phone gonna start ringing, total chaos. I just let her know I'm out the building, let me deal with the evacuation process, head count, and I'll call you right back. I just wanted to let her know I'm alive, I'm breathing, and I'm okay.
I spoke with another man who works for Covenant House who had a...
My supervisor, the union is calling me, they pulling us, it's an emergency.
Your name?
My name is Calvin Chapman, a steam fitter for 638. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Guys, that's just one of the incredible stories that we're hearing this morning. I also spoke with one of the workers at Covenant House, and that was the original occupant of this site before they started rebuilding it. And he said he had 119 young people in his care that he needed to evacuate because they had reports of fire. He came out onto the street and he saw firefighters, legs injured, in pain, crawling away, trying to get to safety. I mean, here they are trying to save lives, to keep people safe. They got injured because they were actually out on the street trying to establish a perimeter because they had a crane burning some 44 stories up in the sky. The heroics that came out of this, and everybody from the mayor on down saying this was truly a miracle. that there was no loss of life, from the crane operator to the construction workers inside the building to the people passing by on the street. It is just simply mind-blowing that people have so far remained safe. Now, we don't know what the extent of the injuries are. We're still waiting to find out. But truly, this is a day of miracles that we're not hearing even worse than this.
Yeah, Kirsten, like you said, the mayor is saying this morning that it is, in fact, a good morning, considering that there weren't more serious injuries, at least none that we know about so far. You were there in that press conference. Now, the investigation begins. First, the precarious dismantling of this crane, but then the investigation. And so far, they're saying, Kirsten, that this construction crew, everybody had all their permits in place, correct?
Right, that they had pulled the proper permits, that the only thing that had happened here previously was when they were excavating, so that's before the building even goes up. When the construction company was excavating, they struck a Con Edison line. That was remediated. And I just want to give you a look from our vantage point onto the street here to see the debris of this crane. I don't know if you can kind of thread the needle here between the construction workers and the fire department, but you see this crane crumpled onto the ground below. It came down, it had sliced into the building across 10th Avenue. So that begins to give you an idea of how long that crane is, right? So it's on top of the building, and the length of it is such that it slices into a building an avenue across, right? So that's quite large. And then it comes down, but it had been lifting at the time a 116-ton piece of concrete. The construction workers inside saying it felt like an earthquake. It sounded like something even worse. Lots of investigations from the engineering firm to the crane firm to the operating to the construction. Many, many, many layers of investigation before we get an answer. And of note, the Department of Buildings saying that they are going to bring in an outside contractor to conduct that investigation, just as they did with the Ann Street garage collapse. We're live on the west side at the scene of the crane collapse. I'm Kirsten Cole. Back to you.